me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
During that plan, we were talking about our mission and our vision and what we wanted to create. Came up with the acronym CARE, Creating Amazing Recreational Experiences. We want people to experience what we're doing. Every time they come to a park, every time they come to a facility, every time they enroll in a program, every time they see us, it's an experience for them, a positive experience that they can hold on to for the rest of their life.
Welcome back to the Daily Parks and Rec Show at NRPA Conference 2025. Today, we're diving into a powerhouse conversation with Jonathon Penn from Henry County, Georgia, a department that's making waves nationwide. From aiming to be the best-run park system in America to creating the culture of care, creating amazing recreational experiences, Jonathon and his team are raising the bar for what Parks and Rec can be. We'll talk about how they're shining a spotlight on the often overlooked heroes of facilities maintenance, their innovative use of goats as eco-friendly landscapers, and why their internship program is turning students into lifelong Parks and Rec professionals. Plus, you'll hear how Henry County is leading nationally, speaking at conferences, launching their own podcast, and proving every day that Parks and Rec is not just valuable, it's essential. Stick around. This episode is full of leadership lessons, community impact, and a whole lot of fun. Let's dive in. All right, we are live again. This is Craig LeBlanc with the Daily Parks and Rec Show, and a friend of mine from Henry County, Georgia, Jonathon Penn. He is intimidating everyone in Parks and Rec. Every time I talk to somebody, they're like, oh my gosh, they're doing so good. And they are striving to be the best run park system in America. And they are not all talk. They are going for it. So where did that message come from? That, trying to be the best, the most well run?
So it started with just a conversation with the team of us being the best version of what we could be where we were.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started seeing that we were impacting different municipalities, different organizations in a positive way. And so we were like, okay, we can really do this. We're going to be the best in the nation. We're going to take this thing one step at a time. And I know I've said this plenty of times in all of my interviews, I say this, but one bite at a time, 1% better each day. And that's our approach. We want to be 1% better each day. And we tackle each day trying to be better. And I think overall that impacts everything that we do.
Yeah. And so you've got a lot of your team here. I think you've got Brian, Thomas, you. Did KP join y'all? Or?
KP is back at home and he is managing things.
He's the only guy holding the fort down?
He's holding the fort down. He and Terry Nash, who was over our therapeutics recreation, she's awesome. You got to get her on.
Yes.
But Donna's here, our deputy director. Michelle's here, who is our deputy administrator admin. Brian's here, and Thomas is here.
Fantastic.
And Shane's here.
Yeah. Oh, I'm trying to think if I've met Shane.
I don't think you've met Shane, but Shane is a rising star. He's in our maintenance. He's one of Brian's right-hand men.
Yeah.
And so he's definitely an up-and-coming leader in the organization.
Yeah, me and Brian have been talking behind the scenes. We're going to create more and more content around facilities maintenance because that is truly half of the workload, money spent, all the energy pours into maintaining this massive real estate portfolio that finds itself under Parks and Rec.
Yep. And that was one of the things that we wanted to do was bring light to our maintenance staff, because in Parks and Recreation, typically they're in the background. They never get any limelight. People see that, the fields are cut, the grass is cut, the parks are maintained, but they don't really know the people behind who's doing that. And so we've brought them to light, like giving them reasons to want to be a part of these organizations, because a lot of these organizations, whether it's statewide or national, doesn't really focus on the maintenance side of it. It's a lot about programming, athletics, and the admin side of it, and not really the maintenance side of it. And so we're tackling that. We're going to bring maintenance to the forefront.
Well, good. We'll help y'all with that, because I have been dying to create more and more content on facilities maintenance. And we recently saw that he had almost 100 fully autonomous mowers, each with little names and 4 legs. he had 100 goats tackling this very steep hill. Who came up with that idea? That was fantastic.
Yeah. So I brought the idea. I don't like taking credit. I like to give the team all the credit, but Brian's like, no, this was your idea. But I came up with the idea. It was something that I did at a previous organization where I was. I was looking for ways to get rid of a lot of the invasive species, like the kudzu. Kudzu was like really bad. And this was years ago. And so Brian and I were talking. We were talking about being more efficient, talking about the manpower that we have until we get more staff that we need. What could we do? And I said, hey man, what do you think about, let's bring the goats in? I think we need to bring goats in. They'll eat up. He was like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't, he couldn't really grasp the concept. And so I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, they'll come in and they'll eat this kudzu, eat these invasive species up really fast. Yeah. And so I was like, look into it. Here's, research on Google, because I don't think the company that I use is around again, but research on Google who has goats that you can rent. And so he started searching on Google and found somebody not too far from where we were, and got him and took him out to the park. The next day he called me. He said, man, JP, this is amazing. Like, this is awesome. They've eaten up the whole hill in one day. And I'm like, yeah, I told you. Yes. So he's all on board now. He like called me, he was like, man, we got to come up with a plan where we can use them year round, and how they're gonna tackle different parks and different areas. I mean, this is awesome. But like, yeah, this is what we need. So
they're fully autonomous. They don't need healthcare packages.
No,
they're green, they're low emissions.
They take a couple breaks when they want to lay down and take a nap because they ate so much, but outside of that, they're good.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, so we made a promotion for the industry after interviewing men like yourself across the country, women that are in leadership, and even young professionals. All of our video editors are so immersed in Parks and Rec content. And one of the things that we saw during the pandemic was, unfortunately, Parks and Rec was labeled as non-essential. And they were many times the first on the chopping blocks to just get cut. And so we created a little short film on why Parks and Rec is an essential service. And I'd love to get your feedback from it. So I'm going to play it, and then we'll come right back and talk about it.
When we talk about essential services, what comes to mind? Police, firefighters, healthcare. But there's another essential service, often overlooked, yet always present. Parks and recreation. Parks and Rec is health. It's the walking trail that lowers blood pressure, the recreation center where seniors fight isolation, the swim lessons that prevent tragedy before it happens. This isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. Parks and Rec is safety. A playground instead of a street corner, a basketball court instead of trouble, a summer camp where every child belongs. It's not just about activity, it's about protection, prevention, and possibility. Parks and Rec is community, the festival that brings neighbors together, the cultural event that teaches respect and diversity, the open space where a city breathes. It builds bridges where division once stood. It gives people a reason to gather, to connect, to care. And Parks and Rec is economics. It strengthens property values. It drives tourism through events and trails. It saves on healthcare costs. Every dollar invested multiplies, feeding back into schools, into safety, into growth. Essential service is not just about survival, it's about thriving. And Parks and Recreation is where thriving begins. In wellness, in equity, in culture, and in joy. Parks and Rec isn't extra, it's essential. For our health, for our safety, for our communities, for our future. A message from the Parks and Recreation community.
All right. So how do we do on that one?
That was awesome. We need that for all organizations to show that to their boards and their councils.
That's exactly why we made it. I told my editors, I said, these guys are standing in front of council members that actually think this is an non-essential service. Let's give them a weapon to defend themselves.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, during the pandemic, Parks and Recreation, most people saw a decline in their numbers in a lot of different areas, but especially programming, like certain programming, especially that were indoors, but an uptick in people visiting the parks because it was outside. They could go out and do things inside of the park. So that, I mean, totally essential. I know in Henry County, we didn't really, I mean, COVID hit in March of 2020. We had maybe a month where we were at home and we were working from home. After that, we were on like groups where we would come in. We were working. We were inside the buildings, inside the parks from a month after everyone knew about COVID. So we were back at it immediately.
Right. Yeah. And then not just when you think about how a community responds to a crisis, especially when national, like FEMA's coming in, typically the rally points and the base camps and the staff that's manning those rally points are the Parks and Rec facilities.
Yep.
And so they convert from, running basketball leagues to hosting FEMA, handing out food with fire trucks and everybody coordinates. And so if you start deleting those from your community, how do you respond?
Yeah, and that's huge. All of our rec centers are emergency management facilities.
Yeah.
And so every time there is inclement weather, like when we have storms that come through there or extreme cold that comes through, like they're warming stations for people that to sleep overnight that are homeless or that are having, have their own situation going on. So the rec centers are very valuable and they're used a lot with FEMA, GEMA, which is Georgia's emergency management, and our local EMA team. So it's very, very important to the ecosystem of what we do in the government.
Yeah. Okay, so two other topics I'd like to cover with you. Number one is your internship programs. And then number two is this tour of the nation where Henry County seems to be going to speak at different conferences. I want to learn more about why and what y'all are talking about and kind of share that message. But let's go back to the internship programs. How do y'all use y'all's? And the reason I want to highlight this is because I have been going through the country trying to find the best internship programs. And I think I have found one of the best, if not the best internship program in America to encourage people to hire interns. And maybe you can give a testimony to why you should have a good, strong internship program.
Yes. So we started off, there was a grant that we applied for to where we would receive an intern and then they would go through the program. They were finishing up school. And then once they had their requirements, then they would graduate, possibly go on to do something else, particularly in the field that they were studying. Well, we would love to have those interns because we're always shorthanded. We could always use extra hands in Parks and Recreation. We all know that.
Yeah.
And so we would bring on these students and indoctrinate them into the system, into the culture that we have at Henry County Parks and Recreation, and they wouldn't leave. They wanted to become Parks and Recreational professionals. We're not 100%, but we are pretty darn close. We're about 90% where we've had interns and they've come on and stayed with us.
Wow.
Where we've been able to put them in a part-time position. And then once they, we see how they work out, then they go from part-time to full-time. Right now we have 5 interns. I believe it's 5 interns that are full-time staff members now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times people will think, well, I don't want to babysit, but the interns that I've met that work with y'all, you're not babysitting. You're like basically giving them a mission and then setting them loose.
Yep. That's what we do. And we do the same thing with all of our team members. And we allow them to grow, allow them to see the vision and understand what we're doing and how we serve the community. and they love it. And we allow them to have fun. We're Parks and Rec. That's what we do. We have fun. So
yeah, that y'all having a blast over there, and really is a great culture. By the way, we actually co-create a monthly podcast, second Wednesday of every month, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, called The Rec Room.
yes.
And it's just to highlight what's going on in Henry County, Georgia. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that and what was y'all had tried to do something like that on your own before we connected, and I'm so glad we did. But maybe talk about what that's all about.
Yeah. So I came to the team and our executive leadership team, and I was like, man, we got a lot going on. We really need to tell our story about what we're doing, because Parks and Rec traditionally doesn't do a good job of telling their own story.
Right.
And how can we do that outside of, giving out flyers, posting something on social media, getting with our communications, they just posting it on the website or anything like that most people don't go to unless they're looking for something specific. So it's like, how do we get our story out there? And I said, let's create our own podcast. And so we started coming up with different names, and we actually bought some, minimal equipment. Thomas, did his thing and did some research and got what we needed. And we actually recorded one episode, but it never saw the light of day. But it was really good. And so it kind of fell off our plate. And then you and Brian linked up. And I was like, oh my God, this is wonderful. This is fate. Like, we're going to really get this up and running.
Yep.
And that's how the Rec Room was born. And we're so grateful and so thankful, because this is the vision. This is what we wanted to do. And so we're doing it, and we're excited.
Yeah, just look at DPR's Medico as just your big megaphone. You have the message, you have the cheer, the chant you want to say to the world. And so we just attach ourselves and all our video content creators, and we love helping to boost y'all's signal, because y'all are definitely pure signal out there.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, we're having a blast. County manager likes to call me, and I say it's our team, but she calls me the agent of fun.
Yeah.
So.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That reminds me, before we go on to, what y'all are saying as y'all kind of tour and give speeches at all these different associations, tell people what CARE means and the acronym of it, and to Henry County, Georgia.
Yes. So funny thing is I would like to say a nice size organization that we have in Henry County. Henry County is about close to 300,000 residents. And so you would assume, when I came to Henry County about 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago, and I would think that they would have a plan, like a master plan, but they didn't, and they hadn't had one in 50 years. And the Parks and Rec department is 50 years old, so they've never had a master plan. And so that was one of my number one goals, is to get a Parks and Rec master plan for Henry County government, Henry County Parks and Rec. And we did that. We finally got it, and it was amazing that we have this plan. And during that plan, we were talking about our mission and our vision and what we wanted to create, and came up with the acronym CARE, Creating Amazing Recreational Experiences. We want people to experience what we're doing every time they come to a park, every time they come to a facility, every time they enroll in a program. Every time they see us, it's an experience for them, and a positive experience that they can hold on to for the rest of their life, and say, man, this is something great for me. No matter what they're going through, they can have a positive experience. And so we want to care. We care about what we're doing. We care about the people that we serve. We care about everyone. And so a part of that is we wanted to create a space where everyone feels a sense of belonging.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
I love that. Okay, so where can, aside from the Rec Room, you'll see Jonathon Penn and his whole team just churning through 12 episodes a year, once a month, Wednesdays at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. But you're also speaking here at NRPA. I believe you're maybe speaking, well, I know you're speaking at Georgia.
Yes.
And then you may be coming to Louisiana. So what topics are you speaking on? And then what other state associations does Thomas sign y'all up for?
Yeah, so we're speaking on our love and passion for in leadership in parks and recreation, as well as our mentorship program / maintenance program, the watering can.
Yes.
So that's a huge hit. We've that's been written up in the NRPA magazine a couple of times. and in GRPA, which is Georgia Recreation Parks Association. Funny thing is, and I credit this to Thomas because he pushes a lot of his team members and the entire team to get outside of their box when it comes to public speaking.
Yeah.
And so he'll just write them to come and speak at like our local or state conference. And so this year we have 14 people or 14 sessions that we're speaking at for our Georgia Recreation Parks Association.
I love it.
Myself, Brian, Thomas, and Shane are speaking here. Brian, myself, and Thomas will be speaking at Louisiana Parks and Recreation Conference as well.
Fantastic. Well, Jonathan, thank you so much for your leadership and all that you're doing in Parks and Rec, and I really appreciate you us somehow finding a way. I'm the fact that we get to make the rec room every month is just a blast.
It's awesome, and I thank you because it allows all of our team members to get some shine and show what they do on a day-to-day basis. So thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, congratulations on everything, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Take care.
Are you a vendor, brand, or service provider ready to connect with the heartbeat of local communities? At DPRS Media Co., we tell the stories shaping parks and recreation across America. Through podcasts, live streams, videos, and newsletters, we reach frontline leaders, city directors, and decision makers every single week. From youth sports and facilities to programming and policy, our audience is your audience. Sponsoring or partnering with DPRS Media Co. puts your brand in front of the professionals who build, budget, and buy for their communities. Launching a new product, growing your presence in public spaces, targeting cities, counties, or departments, DPRS is your trusted media partner. Whether you're in software, turf, aquatics, robotics, smart cities, or special events, partnering with DPRS puts your brand in the story. With commercials, interviews, social campaigns, newsletters, and live shows, we're your media team. Partner with us and grow your impact in the $200 billion parks and rec industry. DPRS Media Co. Stories that move parks and rec forward. Your audience is here. Let's meet them.